Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 5th through 8th place match for the Hybrid Major Glitches Tournament. This is a special match. It's not technically official, but it's a race between the 4 runners who made it to the final 8, but did not make it to the final 4. And this wasn't planned too far ahead of time, but we decided to put together a fun exhibition match, kind of a throwdown for you here between our 4 runners for the for this just a little extra match in this Hybrid Major Glitches Linked to the Past Randomizer Tournament, which we should hopefully get started shortly. Looks like we're still getting the restream put back up, but yeah, my name is Krubble, here for you on comms today. I'm joined by my co-commentator, Tajso. Tajso, how are you doing?
Doing just fine. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so hopefully once we get the stream back up, or right now you can see our promotion for the SpeedGaming Live 2021 marathon. See some of the normally you would see this at the end of the stream, but yeah, so Hybrid Major Glitches. This is a tournament that's been going on for a couple months now. It's winding down. I think we have our 2 finals matches scheduled for this coming Saturday at 12 Eastern and 5 Eastern, respectively, for the first 2 games of that match between Prithel and Purdy-Wong. So you can look forward to that after this match, but yeah, today our 4 runners who will be getting their streams back up shortly. Our 4 runners today are Chexhuman, Orange, Malmo, and Cheamo. So, yep, that's what you'll have to look forward to in just a moment.
Yeah, this has been a pretty great tournament so far. We've seen a whole bunch of different ways of applying many of the glitches that are allowed in this, and I guess we should go ahead and give a bit of a refresher as to what exactly is Hybrid Major Glitches. It is actually a full-on logic mode for the randomizer, as in the glitches that you will see in this, a lot of them will be accounted for in logic, meaning our runners will have to perform them in order to gain these items of progression they're looking for. And largely what we're able to do are basic clipping on the overworld. Will be going out of bounds all over the place in there, and also some clipping on the underworld. There's 4 specific clips that the game will require or might require out of our runners. These being going from Spectre Rock Cave directly into Palace of Darkness, going from Mire into Hera, and then going from Hera into Swamp, and as well as the entrance of Ice Palace to skip that Freezor. So any one of those 4 or some combination of them may be required this run, in addition to all kinds of out of bounds on the overworld. So we'll hopefully be able to see a lot of that and help you along the way if you're not familiar.
Yep, and I'm always hoping to see both as a runner and viewer and commentator of this format. I'm always hoping to see as many of those glitches actually required as possible. So hopefully we get Crystal Hera, Crystal Swamp, Crystal Mire. Really get to see as much of this format as it can require.
So you want to see left side hammer then in Swamp?
And mirror, preferably. The dream. Which I think we've had a couple times this tourney so far.
I don't think it's been on left side, but it's definitely been past that first flood area, which makes it annoying to get to. But yeah, that has happened several times.
Yeah, I think we refer to that as the full Swamp Palace experience of HMG. Getting to do the most complicated and interesting route possible to get into Swamp, which hopefully we'll get to discuss once it gets going. But I think generally the first maybe half hour or so of any Hybrid Major Glitches race, I think tends to look pretty similar to overworld glitches. Before people start getting into Mire and Hera and Swamp, kind of the mega dungeon of combination of Mire, Hera, and Swamp. Before they start getting into that, it tends to look pretty similar to just a normal overworld glitches race. Although that doesn't mean it's not interesting. I'm always fascinated to see the different ways that people choose to route the early game of overworld glitches modes in general. And I think our 4 runners today, I think. Yeah, I think our 4 runners today tend to choose kind of radically different approaches to the light world overworld. So looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, there is one part of the typical openers that is a bit different for this mode as opposed to overworld glitches, and that primarily has to do with Tower of Hera, because of some of the weird logic quirks that we can run into in this game, specifically because of the Mire to Hera clip, we might not find any keys in Hera in the first couple of checks there, which then gives us some information about later on in the seed, which is one of those interesting little things that can pop up.
Yeah, and it can be valuable information heading into Hera to see kind of what kind of situation you're going to be dealing with in Hera today. If it's going to be a small key early, and then you're faced with a decision of, oh, do I save scum the small key to check the basement and then potentially get that small key back to sequence break swamp later, or if there's no keys in the bottom, and then then you have the information that Mire will be required later. Well,
provided that Hera is a crystal or something like that. But yeah.
Yep. So. And then, of course, the option is often available pretty early to clip into Palace of Darkness for some early checks there, which is another. I think often that's the first hybrid major glitches specific tech that you'll see, because
I don't really think that's the case. It really. A lot of people don't really like going to pod until they have, either hammer or, well, not really hammer, but really bow. And bow does tend to be kind of deep into these seeds at times. And it's not surprising to see pod come up late, even though you basically have access to it right when you start.
I'm thinking of the plays that I've seen from all 4 of these runners in this tournament, and who would I expect to dip pod the earliest? And I think I would kind of expect that play from Orange. That's going to be my guess. Is of course it all depends on which items we see early, but yeah, my guess is that we'll see the early pod play from Orange first.
Yeah, I know that Chex likes to go through the mountain first. One of the important early things that you need to look for, especially out of any of these runners, is where do you get your first set of bombs? A lot of people do like to check a whole bunch of different things, trying to find them from various chests and such. Some people opt to clip up to Death Mountain first and rescue the old man, then clip down to the Graveyard Ledge, because that has a nice, easy pack of bombs there. Other people will use the Bonk Rocks next to the Fortune Teller above Kakariko, and that will also have a couple of bombs. They might refill it by going in and out of the Fortune Teller, but those early bombs are very important, especially as we're searching for other kind of weaponry to deal with things like mini Moldorms.
Yep. And looks like we're just about getting started here.
Yeah, we got a Malmo who has a powder.
Yep. Hopefully we'll get them in sync for you just in a moment, but for now we got that early map check on Malmo's side. I think that was 3 crystals.
It was 3 crystals, 2 of them red for a desert. No, wait, it was Eastern in Hera, wasn't it? Not desert.
Okay, so
yeah, two of them were red.
So 3 crystals in the light world kind of increases the likelihood of pendant mire and or pendant swamp. Could be interesting. And Malmo giving us the so Malmo gave us a Lake Hylia check, and then immediately clipping up, doing a fast clip up to Hobo for the flippers.
Yeah, and it actually shows one of the minor glitches that is required because of the overworld glitches logic that this is kind of built on. You are required to know how to do fake flippers to reach Hobo there. But we also get a hook shot out of the Sanctuary. That's a fantastic weapon to have early.
I wonder if that might. I wonder if that might push Malmo to the mountain a little bit earlier, having that hook shot to really help deal with some of the enemies in Death Mountain in general, and especially East Death Mountain. Having that hook shot to deal with Spiral Cave could make things a lot more manageable.
It also makes a lot of clips much easier. Spin speed, or rather hook speed in this case, is a very easy way of being able to clip straight through ledges, which a lot of Death Mountain kind of winds up being. So that can speed up certain things.
Okay, and Malmo giving us a early lumberjack check. So looks like we probably won't be getting an Aga Tower climb today.
Yeah, I think the only case would be if we find 2 bows in there or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, there's some early bombs right there in the forest.
It's convenient. Alright, so we have Cheamo doing the kind of doing similar routing to Malmo here, checking the forest item locations. And just in a moment, we'll see Malmo coming up to a fork in the road and needing to decide between Kakariko or the mountain. Now, Malmo did get powder and a small magic drop, so she will have the option to pick up Magic Bat as soon as she does decide to go to Kakariko, but looks like she's deciding on mountain first.
A lot of people will tend to put off Kakariko for a while just because you have that powder check, the sick kid check, a couple of different side quests that, if you can get it all done in one go, is usually a lot better than taking another trip over to town. And you have the freedom to be able to do that since you have so many more places you can go thanks to the overworld glitches.
Yep, and we have this early divergence with Malmo, as we were discussing earlier, choosing to go for the early mountain, just doing a quote-unquote new DMA to go through the old man cave in the dark and get up the mountain, while Cheamo decides to go to Kakariko. So with this route, Cheamo will probably be orphaning the sick kid item check, at least for a little while, unless he gets a lucky bottle. We'll see if that ends up making a difference. That was a nice little hook shot clip in Blind's Hut there.
And we found both gloves already. One of them on Old Man and the other in the basement of Hera. Early mitts. I don't know. Do we like seeing that or not?
No, not even a little bit. Early mitts, man. Early mitts in Overworld glitches modes. They make the routing so much stranger with. When you have the option of getting into Village of Outcasts just from the middle there, and then you don't get to clear all the Dark World locations just in one clean loop. You kind of have to split things up, and it's always a little bit awkward. So yeah, I tend to not like early mitts in Overworld glitches modes.
Yeah, a lot of that won't really be too much of an issue until we find the Moon Pearl, but Ice Palace is kind of a thing. We do find a sword in the back of the tavern, so that does help with some of the combat that we can come into here.
Okay.
And Orange decides to take those early gloves and check the back of Escape right away, trying to see doing Houlihan. My mistake. Coming off of the Graveyard Ledge Cave, getting a whole bunch of money there.
Oh, interesting. I think you'll often see this play when people have around, 270-ish rupees, when they can do Graveyard Ledge into South Shore, into Zora. But this is a slightly unusual route from Orange here. I think we missed the first couple minutes of Orange's side of this restream, so he must have gone for a slightly less usual route of doing the Lake Hylia check after a few minutes instead of where a lot of runners will just get that out of the way immediately.
Well, we did come across another sword at the race game, so Cheamo is up to Master already, and Chexhuman ran into Cane of Samaria and Paradox. So those are some nice items to find.
And it looks like Chex is in the situation that I was talking about earlier, where Chex is within Houlihan money of being able to do the Zora checks. So, wonder if we'll see that from him.
Yeah, and he hasn't been to the South Shore yet. I don't think anyone has yet. So we'll be able to get a glimpse at all of that there.
I guess Chex already did Paradox Cave, so we probably won't see him go up from Waterfall and Zora area back up the mountain.
Oh, interesting. So he started over at Sanctuary first. Because he just opened up Link's house to get the powder.
Oh, wow, I wonder if both Orange and Chex decided to do Sank starts today.
Okay, so we find the small key in the back of Escape here. And it looks like that Orange is actually going backwards through the Escape here. This is a little bit of a gamble here. I mean, he found both of the items, the map and the key, so he knows he's going to find something in the Dark Cross here. He can't go any further than that, but he does forfeit one of his options of unlocking Swamp later by doing this play, I think.
Yeah, he won't be able to... Well... He would have to get pretty creative, I think, in order to do to steal a small key from Hyrule Castle. Maybe save scum a guard key. It would, but probably won't see that. So the our three other runners may have the option of clipping from Hera to Hyrule Castle to steal a Hyrule Castle key to use in Swamp later on. But we probably won't be seeing that from Orange. Honestly, we probably won't be seeing that from anyone. It's a fairly rare play, I think, in this format. Oh, there's the Moon Pearl.
All right, so a decent amount of Ice Palace is now available with that. Actually, it was available beforehand. I mean, ever since we got the nits.
Yeah, I don't imagine we'll be seeing a low percent fireless, not gloveless, but hammerless ice. At least not before a bunch more of the Sphere 1 location checks. But yeah, if things don't open up soon, then we might see someone go for that.
Well, considering we just found the Pearl, a lot of things just opened up. So it's probably going to be put off for quite a while.
And we have Orange and Malmo almost simultaneously picking up their Moon Pearls. Looks like Chex is deciding to kind of orphan the Hobo a little bit.
A little bit. He just hasn't done it yet. He looked like he wanted to go over there at first. Well, there's our Ice Rod, so that's going to be helpful for TR. But he looked like he was going to go over and check that stuff, but realized, oh, I can go through South Shore, use my water walk to scope out the island rather than waste a couple of transitions. So,
oh yeah,
that's what was on his mind there.
Yeah, I guess if he had gone to Hobo and it hadn't had flippers, of course we know it does, but he would have ended the water walk there if he had gone there. Oh, oh, interesting. So with a hammer on Zora, Orange is in a little bit of a risky situation here, because I don't think we saw a 300 rupee drop in Waterfall Cave. Actually, I'm certain we didn't. So that's a bit of a scary situation for Orange. I guess Orange will be picking up his flippers here.
And I believe he's got the water walk arm, so he's going to be taking that up to the waterfall regardless. It's just using the fake flippers to get here, then we'll use the water walk to get up to Zora area. Although he's got to be careful now with that, because if he dashes into the shallow water, he actually loses the water walk state.
Oh yeah, but looks like he was aware of that and avoided the shallow water. Saves a little time.
A little bit, but he still has to walk into shallow water just to get to the Zora area regardless.
Yeah, little unfortunate. But yeah, it's definitely unfortunate that that Orange won't be getting his hammer here. I wonder if has Orange done East Death Mountain yet?
You think we might see a Zora DMA or something here?
Or maybe a Zora DMD. Like maybe Orange does East Death Mountain, and then once he's finished with East Death Mountain, does a Zora DMD to pick that up. Or maybe he waits until he gets Mirror and tries to link that up with Catfish instead.
Perhaps. Well, I do see a Herapod out of Cheamo, and Malmo is going for it also. So we're going to take a peek up here. This is actually out of logic, technically, so we are going to take a little bit of extra info here. See if we can find the small key that we're looking for. Well, there's our second item out of Hera, so all we have left are dungeon items in Hera here. We found the glove down in the basement and that piece of hearts south of the big chest.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll have a small key locked in the basement, which kind of, if you're Orange, you're really hoping that isn't the case, because then like there goes your other option for getting from Hera to Swamp without needing to go through Mire first. Oh, but fortunately, it looks like there was a small key on Moldorm, so...
Well, we still have to be a bit careful, because we haven't found that big key. So, with that means the only way we have of getting to the upstairs and to use that Hera small key is to do a Hera pop, but it's very easy to open up that key door if you're trying to go with the hook speed method.
Yeah, I think we've definitely seen several instances of that in this tournament with runners accidentally using the small key on that door and then needing to hard reset to get it back. Hopefully we don't see that today.
Ah, shoot. Malmo did a map check and I missed it. So, Dark World still a bit of a mystery here for us here.
All right, so looks like Malmo is first one of our four runners to kind of start heading into the Dark World, as everyone else kind of cleans up these early sphere Light World locations. Curious to see what Orange does after this. Does he do Zora DMD to pick up his hammer, or does he say, you know what, I have the Moon Pearl, I have a bunch of Dark World open, do I start checking that instead?
I mean, there was a 300 back here, so if there was a time to check Zora, this would be a pretty good time. We're seeing a bomb jump, so we are staying at least on the mountain here.
Okay. And I don't think... Yeah, without the hammer, he doesn't really have the option of linking this up with much else, so I expect this is probably a Zora DMD, which he'll be very happy, very happy that he did this.
First gonna grab the, I think, mail upgrade on the clouds there.
I guess that'll be his red mail. Sometimes you'll see runners... Sorry, go ahead. Oh, I was going to say, sometimes you'll see runners skip the visible mail upgrades when they haven't found the mirror yet, because they can kind of make Death Warp slower. Oh, interesting. So what Malmo just did was getting into Hookshot Cave and then linking that up with Catfish. Very, very common route. Orange, instead of doing a Zora DMD to pick up Zora, is choosing to kind of give us the same checks we just saw from Malmo, but with a different path. By going up, just taking the Myths entrance and going up Super Bunny Cave. Getting a bottle? Okay.
Well, if Orange has a bottle, then we know that Malmo does too. So this looks to be the Kakariko clear. We've got powder, we've got bottle. The only other thing to make this visit complete would be the flute, but that's a nice to have. It's not actually required in this mode.
Yep, and I don't think we've seen flute from any of our 4 runners yet today, so looks like that's still in the wild. I don't know if we've seen a sick kid check yet from anyone. In fact, I'm pretty sure we haven't.
Yeah, we haven't. We only just now found our recent bottle, so that'll be exciting here.
Oh, nice. Orange giving us the
turtle paw.
Yeah, seldomly seen turtle treeple there. It's interesting. All 4 of our runners today chose to take that hook shot and really chase that almost immediately as their first thing in the Dark World.
Okay, so we got a better view of the map from Chex there. We see pendants at Skull Woods and Thieves Town.
And Pendant Swamp. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, well. That's kind of the... I would say one of the most stressful pendant locations that can happen in this mode, because... it can be a real pain to get into Swamp, but if your Go mode's in there, then obviously who chooses to go for that first, to invest the time necessary to get in there first.
Yeah, I guess you could be a bit unsafe with it and just clear out as much of it as you can from that Hera state. We've got the flippers and such, so a lot of that will be easier to link together.
Yeah, I guess theoretically we could full clear it, right?
Well, other than the big chest, because we still don't have that Hera big key.
Well, couldn't they just do the normal mirrorless swamp?
I mean, they could get there, but they can't open the big chest because they don't have a Hera big key.
Oh, no, I meant...
Oh, and enter it from the front and search for it that way.
Yeah. Flood the dam, go to Hera, go back, walk out the front, the usual.
They could, but again, then they wouldn't have the swamp big key until they found it. So it's kind of half to one, 6 to 1, half dozen to the other on it.
Yeah, and really time consuming, no matter which approach you take. All right, looks like we're getting pyramid ledge checks, very close in time to one another between cheamo and Chex, and it's a medallion. I don't think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we haven't seen a dip into mire from anyone yet.
No, we haven't been down that far in the world yet, as far as Dark World's concerned. The first we've really seen is out of cheamo and Chex here, taking their catfish checks going south. Cheamo is opting to head over to Village of Outcasts, going into the moat here, and heading over towards the Hammerpegs Cave, whereas Chexhuman is going towards Hype Cave.
And looks like Malmo's giving us the desert checks that we saw from at least cheamo, and I'm honestly not sure if we saw it from Orange or Chex yet.
I don't think we've seen it out of Orange, because Orange only has Fighter Sword. Because we have that Master Sword on. We have one sword in Tavern and the other on the race game ledge.
Okay. So cheamo's in an interesting situation here, because, at least according to the tracker, cheamo has not been to Zora yet, not picked up the hammer. And Chima's in the kind of scary situation of being faced with a hammerless pendant swamp, or sorry, hammerless pendant thieves town.
I would not be surprised if this is just checking the front four and piecing out.
Yeah, the only thing that I think is awkward about that is because Chimo doesn't have the mirror, he'll either need to walk out or kind of end his Dark World loop here, which I guess with the mitts isn't too bad to get back into the Dark World after that. But
it's actually not
Death Warp would.
It's actually not that far from the fourth chest here to get back to the entrance. It's just it's a little bit out of the way, but not terribly so.
So we'll have to keep an eye on Chimo here to see if he walks out or does a save and quit. Be curious to see. Oh, and Chex gave us our Chex probably gave us our Meyer medallion check, and oh boy, looks like that was the ether. Okay, so required pyramid ledge to get access to Crystal Mire. That's potentially a little scary for Malmo and Orange.
Yeah, I know that some people like putting off things like Pyramid or Escape until we find the Mirror, because Mirror lets us not only link those areas together, but also gives us access to the Pyramid Ferry, and it's just a really nice way to get a whole bunch of things linked together all at once.
Yeah, I think if you're Malmo and Orange here, you really, really don't want the mirror to be in Mire. Of course, the mirror is probably not required for anything, but it can be really nice quality of life, especially on red mail. Save you the trouble of a lot of slow death warps.
Yeah, Chexhuman rocking the blue mail, getting the one out of the Paradox Cave chest, but passing up the one that was open out on the floating island on Death Mountain.
It looks like he was the only one to make that decision, so it could save him some time on death warps, but it could cause him to lose some time on non-warp deaths.
Unintentional death warps, we call those.
Yes.
Alright, so we found a Cane of Birna at Stump Kid. That does put Spike Cave into logic here, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah, I wonder if that's what we could be seeing from Malmo here. Nope. Looks like she's hopping right past it.
I don't think she has the Cane of Birna here, so this is purely a GT check.
Okay, you're right.
But we don't have a fire source for the right side of GT yet, so we might have to come back later on. I mean, we probably will anyway, just due to the lack of bow. We can mimic clip, but not a lot of people like doing that if they don't have to.
Yeah, especially in this mode when GT is so fast and easy to get back to. I think it tends to be somewhat uncommon. That said, I think it's a technique that all four of our runners, if I remember correctly, all four of them are familiar with it to some degree or another. So
we are getting our first dip into Mire from Chimo. Kind of exciting there. We'll get to see how far does Chimo want to take this. We don't have a fire source, so there are a couple of chests we can't check. But this could also be just a big unlocking trip as well for a few things.
Yeah, we might see Chimo kind of get as much as he can out of Mire, and then continue from Mire into Hera, and then from Hera into Swamp to open the Swamp front door.
We get our third sword upgrade in GT, so swords will not be a problem. No Master Sword Ganon this time around.
That's definitely nice to see. Orange heading back into the Dark World, fixing his camera first, so I'm not sure if this is Orange doing a normal DMD or if it's Orange going into Ganon's Tower. It looks like it's a normal Death Mountain descent. So Chex is, looks like Chex is the first of our runners to give us the 4 the 4 locations in the back of Thieves Town.
And luckily, there is nothing in that big chest. So should Orange decide to dip into Thieves Town, if he counts his items correctly, he'll know, oh, okay, I left nothing there.
Yeah, but given that it's Pendant Thieves, it wouldn't be too surprising to see him put that off entirely.
Yeah. Plus, he's already done the front, I think, or was that cheamo?
I think that was cheamo. Yeah,
it was cheamo.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember who were the 2 that went through the pyramid.
That's right. It was Cheamo and Chex that.
Yeah, it was Cheamo and Chex. It was the double cha.
Yep. And then Cheamo swam over to Village of Outcasts. All right. Unless I missed something, I don't think there was anything in Pendant Thieves. So our other 3 runners could save some time if they decide not to clear Pendant Thieves that we just saw from Chex.
Okay, so Cheamo is deciding to go to Vidi here without a fire source. So the screen will be black for a while as he navigates the dark basement of Mire.
I don't know if we've seen much from left side of Ganon's Tower from Malmo so far.
We're still on the hunt for the big key. There was a quick inventory check, as well as not going straight for the big chest before going over to Bob's here.
Oh, good catch, good catch.
So we're still on the hunt for that big key.
Now, fortunately, Malmo has sword beams, which, strangely enough, do just as much damage as tempered sword slashes, if I remember correctly.
They do.
So hopefully Malmo doesn't take any damage here. So get a nice, obviously not as quick as a bow clear, but certainly faster than Master Sword slashes.
Yeah, it's also not as fast as a Birna clear either. So it's the 3rd best weapon. We can call it that.
Yep. Oh, almost taking damage, but kind of narrowly avoiding it.
When you're down to the last one, it's not so bad because you can do a bunch of poke dashes and then change those into a couple of spins. We find the mirror.
Oh my
behind
goodness!
Ice Armos and the big key.
Okay, well that's good news for Malmo. Both the mirror, even if it's not required, huge quality of life, and the big key not being in Compass Room means that she won't be forced to isolate the big chest. So that's always a worrying situation when you go through all that and then don't find the big key, and then the big chest is kind of hanging over your head for the rest of the race. Cheamo giving us a slightly scary Vitreous kill.
So one small thing to know is that when you have the Cane of Birna active, you cannot charge spins. So this is, yeah, you can see that the sword sparkles were not going up at all.
Yep.
All right, so here we go with Malmo setting a mirror portal after wrapping on the map, which places it in the castle courtyard in a very specific spot. Well, not that specific, but it allows us to get inside of the Pyramid Fairy Cave.
Oh, interesting. Malmo's showing us one of the less common DMDs in this format to get off the mountain and walk to the castle area to use that offset mirror portal.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and what is it?
River clip?
Yeah, river clip as well.
Yeah, this is a river clip.
Oh, this is always fun to see. So, Malmo's doing this instead of the other options that she would have had to get there without
I think she's
without losing the mirror portal.
She kind of lost track of where she was, trying to find a door to get back into the castle here. So we just got a Spike Cave check out of Chex. Unfortunately, that did not hold anything of value. But I think after this, he's going to be heading into GT. Ooh, out of magic. I think he's going to use his green potion here to be able to actually exit the cave here.
Yep, that makes sense. But because Chex didn't find the fire rod in the additional checks that he did before coming here, he won't be able to give us, and also no bow. He won't be able to give us any more checks than we saw from Malmo earlier.
I do believe that is the case, Professor Pixie. Asking about, since Vidi holds a small key, does that mean that Hera is technically locked by Samaria? Or Swamp would be locked by Samaria, yeah.
Yes. Both Swamp and Hera, right?
Hera, no, I don't think so, because you don't need any small keys to... Or actually...
Oh.
Well, do you?
No, you're right. I think you're right.
I think it depends where the big key was in Meyer. And I wasn't paying enough attention to figure out where that was.
Well, because you can clip from Meyer to Hera in logic, right? And it clips you to the top of Hera. So you can just...
does, but there are 2 key doors along the way. Granted, there's an enemy key in between, but you kind of have to make sure that any keys you find you can waste, except for the one down in the basement, but... Yeah.
Yeah.
There are logical implications here, but we don't know them off the top of our head, and we're not really going to be able to figure them out on the fly here.
Yep. This is the kind of thing that's very fun to sit down with notes and kind of try to think about.
Yeah, it's the kind of logical thing that you're not going to find in any other mode.
Yeah, and it's really the signature of this mode, and why people that enjoy this mode enjoy it so much, and that's it's very, very simple techniques on top of what you've already learned for overworld glitches, but the additional logical implications will can keep you fascinated for a very, very long time.
I thought you were going to go with Awake at Night.
That too. can give you nightmares.
All right, we find a bow at the Uncle, so that gives us Eastern and Pod that we can go and clear at this point.
Yeah, and Gauntlet too. Let's see, Eastern and Pod. I guess with no fire source. Oh, no.
Oh, there we go. There's our fire source.
Never mind. Literally, as I was about to say, with no fire source, we wouldn't be seeing Gauntlet, of course. But, yeah, now we have fully in logic, Eastern and Pod and Gauntlet. So, let's see. I think we need to start thinking about Go mode. Is it just Fire Rod for Go mode?
Yes.
Fire Rod, and we already have the Meyer Medallion. Yeah. So Malmo is one item from Go.
And we do have an item in the back of the desert that we weren't able to reach until we find that lamp in a Pyramid Fairy. So, yeah, this fire rod can be in a lot of places. Pretty much, there's the Freezor chest, unless we find Bombos. There's, technically, it can't be right side GT, so we're not going to see that at all out of Malmo here. And it can't be the Roller Room in Turtle Rock or Trinex, and that's about it.
Yeah, I think the coolest location for the fire rod here, at this point, in my opinion, would be deep in Ice Palace with a fire rod locked to Bombos, and so that would be a hard required Ice Palace bomb clip to get past the first freezer gate to get your fire rod after that. I think that's the coolest possible situation. Quite unlikely, but yeah, it could happen.
Yeah, but it's more or less just to showcase there's so few locations where the fire rod cannot be that we're going to be searching for this thing for a while until we find it.
Oh, and this is a little bit unfortunate for Cheamo and Orange here, because that mirror location means the mirror and lamp location kind of means This is probably the logically required path. And without the hammer, until either Cheamo or Orange make their way to Zora, they won't be able to do that.
Yeah, there is a way for them to get there, but it would require some out-of-logic tech with the super bomb, because we can use the bow found in Uncle to at least clear out the red crystals that we have.
Oh, I didn't see what are the red crystals today?
They're Eastern and Hera, so we do need that bow out of Uncle to be able to get that one.
Oh, okay. Huh. I wonder if we'll see either of them go down that path. Of course, they do still need to eventually get the hammer because Pod and Ice are both crystals.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's really just for Ice. Technically, we can get around that in Pod.
Wait, we can?
Basement clip.
Oh, okay. And by quote unquote we can get around that, you mean Yuzuhara can get around that.
And Krithel.
Oh, Krithel knows that too. Oh, cool.
Yeah, and I think Oss knows it as well.
Oh, wow.
And Chexhuman for that matter, but yeah, it is tech to learn. So.
Oh man. That's probably too complicated to spend time explaining.
I mean,
explaining here.
There isn't. It's not so much that it's hard to explain. It's that it's a harder clip than most other things that we have to do, just due to the one-frame nature that you have to do with it. The actual tech behind it is pretty simple. You get spin speed in the pod basement. You do an upward teleport, and then you clip through the rail. That's the short of it. But actually doing those steps is a bit harder.
Yep. And just a moment ago, we saw from Orange an attempt to get into Laser Bridge without the mirror. Of course, without the lamp, it's not in logic, but it's 4 checks, and he's still hunting a bunch of other locations. So it looks like that's what he was attempting to do. But at one point, he jumped off a ledge diagonally, which he wanted to jump off, I guess, vertically, and that was a soft lock.
Yeah, whenever you're doing these kind of overworld glitches and you get an outcome that was not the one that you thought it was going to be, just save and quit. That's the safest. That's the safest thing you can do, because there are basically the game does not like doing overworld transitions unless they're right at the edge of the screen. If they are not at the right at the edge of the screen, you will get what's called an infinite scroll. And yes, it is infinite. So you would have to reset your game. There is no way out of it.
Yeah, we've seen several of those in this tournament so far. So hopefully we don't see any more today. But Cheamo has gone to Zora, picked up his hammer, and is choosing to walk out instead of save and quit. So I'm curious where Cheamo's headed at this point. Is this heading straight to Eastern?
This could be just a mushroom turn-in.
Oh, okay. Maybe
so
linking
we did pick up that in
mushroom.
GT, and I don't think we've seen that out of any runner yet. Could also be, I don't know if Cheamo has used the green potion yet. This could also be picking up some blue potions. Now that we're done with really all our money requirements, we don't need to pay Kikis, thanks to the Spectacle Rock Cave clip.
Yep, and like you were saying, there's the blue potion purchase. So Cheamo will have the option to fake flute with that blue potion. Oh, I guess Cheamo didn't pick up the Sahasrahla checks earlier.
Sadly, does not have the bow out of Uncle yet. So we'll likely not be going into Eastern off of here. Yeah, there's the save and quit menu.
Where is Chex right now? Oh, Chex is doing... Okay. Chex is doing the Harwell Castle checks that we saw from Malmo earlier, so probably linking this up with the Pyramid Fairy check to get his lamp, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. And the bow out of Uncle. Alright, so here we see our first dip into Eastern out of Orange, who has gotten that bow. So this will be a full clear here.
Yep, we're getting new checks from. Actually, I'm not sure if we saw both items in Meyer, so I'm not sure if there's an item in this chest.
Oh, and the fire-locked side, right. We did not see that earlier, as Malmo's the only one with a fire source right now, I think.
Uh-oh, did checks... Ooh, looks like... Oh, that's a little unfortunate. It looks like Chex is having a little trouble with the mirror alignment. Oh,
yeah,
good. Okay,
he was fine. He just needed to face up with it. The window for it is really big. You just have to be facing up when you hit your portal in that area, wherever it is. And I think he just didn't cancel his dash early enough. I wasn't watching it closely enough to figure that out for sure, but I think that's what happened.
And I think Chex is probably about to give us a new check that we didn't see earlier from any of our runners, the hammer peg check. I don't think we've seen that from anyone.
I think you're right.
Actually, I have no idea. We probably did because early mitts and hammer.
Well, keep in mind, Orange does not have the hammer, and Cheamo only got it recently.
Oh, so
yeah,
I guess
it's the bug net. So yeah, we haven't seen it out of anybody.
Okay.
But Chex does have the mirror and mitts, as Mr. Byers pointing out in chat. This could be a Smith check around here.
Oh boy, Smith check. Smith check is interesting with as many fully clearable crystal dungeons as is available to Chex right now. I think we could see some of our other runners enter the situation pretty soon and choose not to do Smith chain. So if Fire Rod's on Smith chain, Chex could pick up quite a lead.
I mean, these early mitts have to be for something, right?
Well, that's what Chex is certainly hoping for.
I guess not this time around.
A 20 rupees that only cost you 10. It's a good deal. It's 100% profit.
Yeah, our only hope now for these early mitts is finding Fire Rod in Ice Palace, possibly alongside Bombos.
That's the dream.
Yeah. Well, I guess it could also be a purple chest. There's still a little bit of hope here for these mitts, but it is vanishing fast.
Well, I guess I say that's the dream. That's the dream from a commentator and viewer perspective. That's the nightmare from a runner perspective.
I mean, I thought that's the way it always is. You always wish for the worst, but hope for the best.
Yep. And yeah, at some point, I don't know if any of us noticed, Chex picked up the flute, so choosing to activate it. That'll give him nice quick access to Ice Palace.
But I think
probably would be surprising to see him do that.
Well, not only that, but gonna drop off that mushroom first thing.
Well, that's nice and convenient.
Alright, so Malmo decides to not take Meyer any further after clearing out Vidi, so we still have not seen anything in Swamp.
Yeah, I imagine from Malmo's perspective, she has the Hera Small Key and it's Pendant Swamp, so...
Yeah, and there's so many crystal dungeons to go for at this point. Although this is not the direction of any of them. But this is toward Village of Outcasts, which she has not been to yet.
Yeah, it's interesting, kind of both Malmo and Chex making similar decisions of sticking to overworld locations.
Just trying to chain as much of it together as you can, yeah. Yeah, because Chex is still going from Pyramid Fairy. He did that, swam to Hammer Pegs, went through the Smith Chain and all that stuff, all the way over to Purple Chest, which has a book.
Okay. So probably link that up with Bombo's tablet right away.
And using the vanilla way to get there? What are you doing, Chex? We can clip.
I honestly don't know if this is faster or slower or by how much.
I think it depends how good you are at clipping. Because each mirror transition is about 3.5 seconds. I think that's even with a quick warp on it, but yeah. However, I think he also wanted to preserve his mirror portal nearby, and is going to go for Meyer. He skipped it out on it a little earlier, opting to go for a few other things, maybe making sure he had a fire source before entering.
Okay.
We are seeing Palace of Darkness out of Orange here. Another crystal dungeon we have yet to see out of anybody, and actually Cheamo is hot on his tail.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting that Orange is the only one of our 4 runners without the hammer, and yet the first one into pod.
Aren't you? Didn't you call that play earlier on?
I did. All right. So let's see. Orange found, what is that? 2 small keys up front, and I think he. Wait a minute.
I'm gonna let you figure this one out. I don't know pod key logic.
Well, the thing is, I'm not sure if Orange used a small key to open up the front door in Cave State. So, depending on if he did or not, he might be certain that there must be small keys on the Bolock side. Okay, looks like Cheamo did open the door in Cave State and has 1 small key left. So if he gets 2 non-small key items in these 3 chests, which there's one of them.
Okay, so this is really interesting. We've got Orange in here who doesn't have hammer. We have Cheamo in here who doesn't have bow, and we have Malmo in here who has both.
Okay, so now I'm certain from watching the chests that Cheamo opened, Cheamo is now certain that... Oh, well, this is actually kind of interesting. Cheamo knows that, or at least if he was counting the small keys, Cheamo knows that the vanilla big key chest and both of these chests, unless I miscounted, they all must contain small keys. So this is kind of an interesting play from Cheamo here, doing the potion camera unlock to pick up these small keys over here.
Possibly Cheamo just doesn't know the key logic as well, and it's just clearing as efficiently as possible.
We'll see if Malmo makes the play to skip the right side, which I think we also saw from Orange.
Yeah, Orange has not done the left side and has to piece out of pod, can't finish off Helmosaur, or can, but is opting to not go for the basement clip. Understandable.
All right, so Malmo will probably give us the rest of pod here, and like we were discussing earlier, Malmo, knowing that the right side must contain 2 small keys, choosing to skip the right side and just head straight back. Thanks to Other Tom, our tracker, for keeping an eye on it. Orange just picked up the fire rod in the pod dark maze, so Malmo will probably pick that up in just a moment, and that will be go mode for Malmo.
So those bits were nothing then.
Just
a big old red hanging. Big old red herring for the entire seed.
Oh, this is a very fortunate route overall for Malmo. Kind of not doing very much, not doing very many unnecessary things along the whole way, really. And so Cheamo still needs to... Cheamo still needs to make his way to Uncle, and yeah, that'll be Cheamo's go mode. I guess he never went to Hobo, but I guess he doesn't need it at all.
Yeah, he really doesn't. Flippers would only be necessary for Swamp, and that's a pendant. So as long as we've got everything else, we're fine.
And at 51 minutes, there's malmo, our first to go mode.
With a few crystals under her belt already, so this is a pretty hefty lead, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I think with the things that Chex has left, I wouldn't be too surprised to see Chex head straight to Pod after this for his go mode.
Yeah, he's got the mirror, so it would be a nice way to combo that with Eastern. I imagine that Malmo will do the same.
Orange, unfortunately, is probably going to be hunting that that hammer for quite some time.
Yeah, without the mirror here, there's no way off the Turtle Rock nose if you're going to exit out of the entrance.
Yeah.
So this will be a save and quit out of the dungeon once we're done.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only item that would kind of make it convenient for Orange to pick up the hammer at this point would be that mirror, which I guess he could theoretically get by going down right side GT now that he has the fire rod, but because he knows the fire rod is out of logic, we might see him kind of reluctant to make that play. It looks like Cheamo is chasing the fire rod directly into Ice Palace. Thanks to Icebreaker, it'll be a nice quick clear, but unfortunately we know his go... Well, actually, we haven't seen Silvers, so... at least I think we haven't seen Silvers, so...
I don't believe we have. We have not seen another bow other than the one in Uncle, so... and I think that with the route that Chex and Malmo will be doing, we won't see some of those chests out of Ice Palace from either of them. So this could yield something for Cheamo if the Silvers are here. Will it be enough? I don't know.
Oh yeah, if Silvers are... Okay, let's think about this. If Silvers are just right here, then how close are Malmo and Cheamo? Let's race at this point. Both done. Kara, Meyer... Malmo still probably has a bit of a lead.
Actually, for Cheamo, if Silvers are technically here in Ice Palace, that means that Cheamo will not be getting Silvers, because there's no reason for Cheamo to go for Uncle at that point. Because he's currently in a bow go mode.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, assuming that Cheamo does a bunch of the dark rooms and pod and all that, but don't think that's going to be too much of an issue here.
So if the bow isn't here in Ice, I wonder where Cheamo heads next. Let's see. Good pod, Eastern is kind of bad. Maybe TR? Yeah,
it could
probably
be.
TR.
Yeah, which means that Orange will be the one to find it first here. Unless it's trainers.
Oh, yeah. So Chex choosing to follow up his Mire clear with a quick desert clear. Nice efficiency there.
Yeah, after this, Eastern and Pod is a strong combo for him. Which sadly puts him a few minutes behind Malmo at this point.
Yep, and Chex heading to Death Mountain is probably setting up the Kiki skip First, the Kiki Yeet into the Kiki Skip that we saw from others earlier to head into pod.
Okay, so we did find the silvers in Turtle Rock on Orange's side.
Boy, that was a fast bomb clip. Man, he just he just landed right on the correct pixel for that setup with no adjustment at all. Just boom. I wish I could do it half that quickly. Oh my goodness! Like we were saying earlier, Orange just picked up the other bow. I think that was on Laser Bridge.
I believe it was, yeah.
Yeah. So, this is a really interesting situation for Cheamo.
I mean, if Cheamo goes into Turtle Rock now, that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that'll be really good for.
Because
Cheamo.
that'll be Bo, and he can actually do a Catfish DMD and then clip down to Pod and just go in through the front to get back there.
Is that faster than
a save and quit plus the bomb clip plus and all that?
Yeah.
I think it might be.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, chat's wondering, and I'm wondering too. Wait. Did Cheamo just? Oh no. Cheamo did open up. Cheamo got his bow on Laser Bridge, so Cheamo's in go mode now.
Yeah, so Chex and Malmo will have a similar story. Then Cheamo and Orange will be scratching their heads about a couple of things. Poor Orange, though. That hammer on Zora is really just not doing him any favors.
Yeah, the hammer on Zora and unfortunately the ether tablet on Pyramid Ledge as well are both
and the mirror behind Ice Armos. Actually, is this a dip into GT for Orange? Checking out the right side.
Yeah, looks like it, unless it's a super jump, but yeah, getting the hook shot out and heading there, it's looks like that's what that is, so
Orange will at least have the mirror, and then might take that into escape, pick up the... Oh wait, no, Orange has already done escape, so that'd just be the lamp out of Pyramid Fairy.
And presumably the ether tablet on Pyramid Ledge as well.
Yes.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm racking my brain trying to think of how can Orange get to like how can Orange route in Zora at this point?
Not well.
Oh, I don't remember if Zora's already done Catfish. Oh, there's Chex's go mode. So Chex is actually the third out of our 4 runners to reach go mode. I wonder what the time difference between all 3 of them is.
Malmo has a pretty clear lead, but it might be interesting between Cheamo and Chex.
Let's see. Malmo has TR, Ice, and Gauntlet left. Chex has the rest of Pod, Eastern, Ice, and TR. Desert. Oh yeah, it could actually be quite close between Cheamo and Chex at this point. So Malmo doing a fairly standard go mode TR clear of mirror clipping into the back, clearing back to front, picking up the 1 chest for the small key on Laser Bridge. I didn't see if it would have actually been fortunate for Malmo if the Silver's chest was like closer to the exit than the small key chest, because I wasn't watching, but what I think we probably saw from Malmo was clearing Laser Bridge from bottom to top, until she got the small key and then skipping the rest of the checks.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, didn't get the didn't get the silvers because of that routing decision. Be curious to see if Chex makes the same decision.
I think he might go ahead and open all the chests. Could be for the silver cent. I mean, the silvers does save a decent amount of time on the Ganon fight itself. Plus, they can also save a bit in GT, though not as much when you've got half magic fire rod.
Yeah, and you know, with how close it probably is between Cheamo and Chex at this point, that could make the difference.
Yeah, whether Chex decides to open up everything on Laser Bridge.
Yeah. Does Orange have 0 GT smalls?
As of right now, yes. So a lot of them are trapped on the left side there, I guess.
Yeah, I wonder if Orange got the pot key on the left side.
I mean, he did go for the torch, although I have seen people go for the torch but not get that small key.
Yeah,
and then go off to the right side. You know, there we go. Yeah, so there it is.
Yeah.
Maybe it was Orange who I had seen do that.
Yeah, it looks like Orange was considering just bailing, but he can clear Gauntlet at this point,
and will be the first to do so.
Yeah, I think. Wait, where was the big key? Was the big key just in Hope Room or Tile Room?
Big key was next to Mirror.
Oh, right. Okay. So Orange knows that his hammer. Well, okay, this is interesting for Orange because he knows that his hammer can't be up here, but because he's both hammer and ether medallion from Go mode, he'll probably be opening up these checks.
Malmo getting a free blue potion off of Trinex there.
Oh, nice.
That actually could come in use here. I don't, because Malmo has not activated the flute. That could be a nice fast way of getting to Ice Palace here. Just mirror off the nose and fake flute. Never mind.
Nope.
not in thought there. Could also just be using the blue potion as a safety for the Ganon fight. Even though we've got red mail, his hugs do still hurt.
Yep. So Malmo clearing up her last dungeon. This will be a kind of a comfortable lead for Malmo at this point, as Chex finishes off Eastern, and then TR and Ice. Cheamo finishes off Pod, Eastern, and Desert. Eastern, TR, Ice, Pod, Eastern, Desert. Man, I don't know who's in the lead.
Yeah, it's very close. I mean, Ice Palace is not that slow, but TR kind of is. So Cheamo having that done makes this combo here. Actually, I wonder if Cheamo is actually ahead, because he's already been through Pod, so this is just going clear to the boss. And then after Eastern only has Desert.
Yeah.
Whereas Chex has both Ice Palace and Turtle Rock to do. Again, Ice Palace isn't that much, but Turtle Rock is.
Yeah. What I find kind of amusing at this point is we have two logically hammer-locked, yeah, Ganon's Tower is logically hammer-locked. Pod is obviously, well, a lot more hammer-locked, let's say.
Yeah, it is definitely hammer-locked.
And yet Orange was the first one to both Gauntlet and Pod without the hammer. It's kind of interesting.
All right, sadly we know that there's not going to be anything in these chests up at the top of GT here.
Yeah, nothing. Neither of the items that Orange is looking for are here.
Not even anything helpful at this point. We've found shovel, half magic, all the nice stuff.
Yeah, maybe a sword upgrade, but
Yeah, the sword upgrade between tempered and gold is rather small. Doesn't really even speed up any fights meaningfully. I guess the only one is Trinex. Everything else is about as fast.
yeah. Huh. I wonder if... I guess it's not going to make much of a difference at this point, but, you know, Orange probably picks up the Pyramid Ledge Ether Medallion right here.
Yeah, that
And
would
I
be
wonder
nice,
if that,
so...
because we know he's already done the Front of Escape, and he'll have already done, well, he's about to do Pyramid Ledge. That kind of leaves the Lamp and Pyramid Fairy pretty isolated. I wouldn't be surprised to see him just not check that. Although, man, the question is, I mean, do you go back for Pyramid Fairy by itself before or after Zora?
I don't think you do, because he's in hammer go mode. As soon as he finds that hammer, there's nothing else to do.
And I guess he knows that mirror is logically hammerlocked. Although, yeah, with both red crystals, Pyramid Fairy is in logic through just the vanilla route. And Orange, the first one of our runners through Gauntlet. The format is 7-7 defeat Ganon, so everyone is required to kill Aga 2.
And everyone is required to get all 7 crystals, even though the Ganon hole is open.
Yep. Yeah, if Orange dropped in at that point, he would not be able to damage Ganon.
In 4th phase. He'd be able to get to the 4th phase, but not actually kill him.
Oh, now keep an eye on Chex's stream at this point. This is the play that we were talking about earlier, where Chex got that small key in the first chest, and because he's in go mode, he could have skipped these chests like we saw from Malmo, but decided to keep checking for silvers and was very much rewarded for it. And the 4th chest, I guess, was was a little extra.
Possibly hoping for a piece of heart or sank heart or something. He is a little low on health.
Yeah, I don't remember the contents of Chex's bottles at this point, so... Oh, that's...
I know that he used the green that he got first already. I think there was another green that we got, and I don't think that one has been used.
That was a cool little spin stall on the in the pinball room there from Chex to avoid the firebar damage. I think you'll sometimes see people use hookshot for that. I don't think I don't remember the last time I saw someone do a spin attack for that. That was cool.
Yeah, it's one of those. Oh, get a heart only to lose 2 to the pokey there. He's got powder and he's running into a bunch of anti-fairies here, so health will probably not be a concern from here on out. Oh, no, he's using a blue potion. Yeah, I guess he did buy one when he went for his mushroom check.
Oh, okay. The versatility of being able to convert a fake flute into a health refill.
Who knew a melted flute was so tasty?
Yep. Literally a lifesaver. Alright, Orange is giving us his Mire Clear now. Oh, I guess the big key of TR was... so
it's in the spike room there.
Oh, okay.
Up at the front. Yeah.
I guess that's nicer than if it was at Roller Room.
Yeah, Roller Room was just 2 small keys. So that was not very helpful for, I think, Orange, who went there earlier looking for that sort of a thing.
Oh, I guess he was the only one of our 4 that that wasn't in go mode at that point of the TR clear.
Hmm.
This is convenient routing on Malmo's side because she put off the gauntlet until last. She'll be able to link up gauntlet with the Ganon kill, exactly like you'd see in your regular open 7/7s.
Yeah, I think Orange is going to be the only one who doesn't get that, and we'll have to trek over to the Ganon hole after finishing the last crystal dungeon.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so Cheamo is pretty far ahead of Chex here. Chex still has to do Ice Palace, and Cheamo is entering Ganon's Tower to start the climb.
Yeah, it's a... Cheamo was really very, very fortunate to find that bow on Laser Bridge. If it had been basically anywhere else, that would have been the outcome would have looked a lot differently.
Yeah, and it also turns out that Cheamo is one Ganon's Tower climb behind Malmo, like almost to a T.
Oh yeah. Alright, Malmo dropping into the Ganon fight at 112.
That was a nice little backup that Cheamo had to do in Mimics 2. Ran out of arrows after killing the first one and had to pick up the pot to kill the second one. So that was kind of nice to see. Was able to pull that off very cleanly.
Oh, that's... I'm always scared of those arrows despawning and not really clear on what exactly causes them to despawn. I think it's something to do with sprite overload.
It does have to do with sprite overload, and likely because of probably a BMO spotting you shortly after you try picking up the pot or something like that. Because ideally, there's only 2 sprites that you've... Or I think it's a big concern if you haven't killed either of the 2 red mimics in Mimics 2.
Oh,
because
okay.
it's already very close to the sprite limit before then for the entire set of rooms there. And so you would have killed the first 2 red mimics, but then you still have, BMOS finding you and picking up the pot, which fill up your other 2 slots there. So
Wait,
I think you need...
Oh no. I think Chex may have mistracked Swamp.
Oh no.
This is a little unfortunate, so... Well,
if he pays attention to music cues, because I don't think he plays with an MSU. So if he's got music cues going, he'll figure it out as soon as he re-enters Swamp.
Yep, that's... Oh, right, because he's in Swamp now, in Hera State, it's still got the crystal music, but as soon as he...
Pendant music, but yeah. But it doesn't matter, it's Hera's dungeon, not Swamp's. Currently.
Right. All right, and we have Malmo finishing in first place with an official race time of 1 hour, 14 minutes, and 22 seconds. So get your GGs in chat for Malmo. That was, a very, very impressive time, and looks like Cheamo's not too far behind, just finishing up Gauntlet and then a Ganon fight.
Well, Chex is going pretty deep into Swamp here, so still no realization that it's pendant. Unless he thinks he's trying to find something that he already has. I'm not sure what this is, but we are joined by Malmo. Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
Yep, GG Malmo, and welcome. That it seemed like it went quite well for you. How did you feel about that run overall?
It was a nice seed. I thought somebody else would have a nicer seed by skipping Village Backcast, but, all it takes is to choose north to south, and then you're not doing that anymore.
I think your route was definitely the most fortunate overall. Kind of a quick recap on what we saw from you compared to the other three. So cheamo actually didn't do the front of escape. So cheamo's go mode, fortunately, was 2 chests after the chest where you picked up the small key on Laser Bridge, which that was the other bow.
Oh, I got the second one out of habit. I was like, what am I doing? I'm going to just stop opening
Oh,
chests.
you got the
Skip
first
it.
2. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
it was
I got the small key. I'm like, wait a minute. Don't open chests. You've skipped all the pendant dungeons except back of thieves or front of thieves. So my decision to open chests usually hinges on how many checks are there left in the game. And there's a lot. So I skipped. So
yeah, this is pretty low collection rate.
Why is checks in swamp?
We're kind of wondering the same thing.
Yeah.
We're thinking it's a
Tracker.
mismark, and he can't quite tell the difference between pendant or crystal music. So this is about to be a rude awakening here.
Is he at least go moding it?
Yes, he did go mode it. He did not open up really most chests at all.
Because Chex had a somewhat similar path to you. He did clear Thieves Town, which you didn't. So I think you saved a considerable deal of time from that. But aside from that, pretty similar. But Chex actually did continue opening up the chests on Laser Bridge, so kind of had the Silver's advantage.
So interesting, because cheamo skipped all of the escape and all of Uncle, and I thought, wow, that's the treasure trove, is Uncle and then not the escape, but the Pyramid Fairy. But you can skip those and get your fire source and your bow somewhere else, and that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he picked up the ether after chaining that from Catfish and brought that over to Village of Outcasts during that early part of the Dark World navigation.
Oh, right, ether was there too, which I guess you could get by climbing GT.
That's how Orange got it, but he's the only one who did it that way.
Yeah, and he clearly went back for the other bow. I can see in his tracker. He's missing hammer. That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Orange did South Shore before, like after Houlihan, but before getting enough money for Zora. And so hard isolated the Zora check as a result.
That's a me play.
And kind of with how much else opened up in the seed very early on, especially considering where the mirror was, it was very, very difficult for Orange to ever kind of justify going all the way back just for Zora.
I guess my early mirror from GT was beneficial because I did exactly as much GT as you needed to do, plus tile run. But I did it early enough to get the mirror, and the mirror gets me incentive to go to the escape and get all that stuff, and then just better routing through the overworld. My one regret is I should have saved and quit out of Mire. There's no reason I should have clipped up and done dig game and all that stuff when I had pod and Eastern.
Yeah, that's what.
That was a mistake. I was 100% go back in time. I would not do that again. Because I had the mitts, I could just walk there. It's so silly.
Yeah, that's what Taj and I were remarking on. You and Chex were actually kind of making similar plays at that point. Chex was doing Smith Chain as you were doing your first Village of Outcast checks, and we were both a little bit puzzled by that, thinking, all right, they both have kind of full pod access here.
We've got all this crystal dungeon that we could be doing right now.
Yeah.
The funny thing is so I found Ether, and I'm like, okay, I really need to go to Mire ASAP to check it. And if I hadn't had the mitts, I would have swam the river, done Hammer Pigs, hookshot it out, and then done all that south stuff. But having the mitts disincentivized that, because then I could just walk there. And if I was going to do that, now I'm doing the Smith, and I'm doing all this other crap I don't want to do. So.
Yeah, the mitts were just a gigantic red herring for this entire thing.
Yeah,
of course.
No, it was nice to get in dice.
They were available right away and then gave nothing.
King's Tomb was nice, I guess. I almost did Super Bunny Cave, but if I hadn't, it was like my second overworld check. And you don't do Super Bunny Cave when you haven't done anything else.
Wait,
that was
didn't do Super
way
Bunny Cave?
early on.
No,
it
like,
up with,
no,
as a
this
moon
was
world check.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, before.
Yeah.
instead of chaining it with Hookshot Cave, doing it after all of East Death Mountain there.
Yeah, which is actually what we saw from Orange, which was in
Orange
retrospect
had Pearl at that time. Orange had Pearl
Yeah.
at that time, and Malmo did not.
Yeah, and it totally makes sense, from Orange's perspective, he's just finished Paradox Cave and is faced with two choices. You either do Zora DMD and just pick up one additional check at Zora, or you lift the Mythrock and get 7 checks of of Hookshot Cave and Super Bunny and Catfish. And then that's what. Obviously, we can't fault Orange for choosing 7 checks over 1, but that was certainly unfortunate in retrospect.
Oh, that's rough. South Shore first kills you in the scene in 2 ways.
Yeah.
That's not good at all.
Yeah.
I'm a, you know me, I'm a big South Shore fan, but Hookshot overrides that because Hookshot means mountain. So I just do mountain when I have that.
Yeah.
I think this might be the Zora check finally out of Orange, unless this is.
Yeah, I don't think there's
this really
anything
looks
else
like going
you could
into
do
Zora.
here.
Yeah, there we go.
Of course, it's always fun to see after a Zora Death Mountain descent. You get to see the muddy waters of Zora's domain.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting after we found out that you were in Go mode that Chex and Cheamo, they had a different number of crystal dungeons left, and we weren't entirely sure at first who was ahead, but evidently it was Cheamo in the end. Yeah, Chex did wind up doing all of the Smith chain through to Purple Chest, over to Bombos, and of course that Thieves Clear that we mentioned earlier. And then Swamp.
Yeah, and Cheamo gave us the first 4 in Thieves, but then walked out. But yeah, when Chex decided to go into Swamp, Chex was at that point a full Ice Palace clear behind Cheamo. So without that mess track, I think the outcome wouldn't have changed, but it would have been a little bit closer.
So one thing I was thinking toward the end of your route there, Malmo, after TR, you got that blue potion off of Trinex, and all you had left was Ice Palace. I thought you were just going to mirror on the nose, then go fake flip
Hey,
rather than swim over.
I don't know if that's faster, honestly. I mean, maybe it is.
Yeah.
And you have to take damage and stuff and use magic, so you can actually use the potion.
Well, I mean, the Bedrocks are right there.
Yeah, having the potion's nice for Ganon too. And at that point, I was already committed to it.
Oh, that's
It's that phenomenon. You get an item, and it takes you about 10 seconds to actually register its implications. What happened to Chex's bomb wall?
A graphical
Yeah.
thing. That was something sort of like a jingle glitch, but not really. It doesn't corrupt data, but it's the same sort of thing behind it. That the jingle played at the same time that the bomb wall was supposed to open, so it graphically did not update. Same sort of thing happens with torches.
a classic walk breathe moment.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of somebody getting that torch thing today where they light 2 torches on the same frame and one of them is invisible.
Game's weird, man.
You heard it here first from the glitch expert himself. Game's weird.
Well,
Can we talk about...
hold on, I have to say something about that. That predates me. That's from the original glitch expert, Super Scudge.
Nice. Can we talk about that swamp bait, though? You get flippers and hookshot, hammer, and the free small key in Thieves Town, or in Tower of Hera. And swamp has nothing in it.
Yeah.
And it's a pendant.
Oh yeah, so we didn't get to see the Hera to Swamp kind of shenanigans that before the race, Tajda and I were talking about how, when watching this and honestly while playing this mode as well, you're always kind of hoping for to get to do the signature things that are unique to hybrid major glitches that you can't find in the other formats. And
of course, we got excited with all the implications with Hera, since there were no keys available early.
Yep.
and then later on, we saw that small key on Vidya, and we're thinking, oh well, now there's interesting stuff there. But Swamp was pendant.
Yeah, Kane locked Swamp. You love to see it. But then, obviously, the Go mode wasn't in Swamp, and we didn't get to see it from Malmo, Cheamo, or Orange. But Chex did show us Swamp due to that mistrack. So unfortunate for him, but good to see the tech from a viewer perspective. And we're joined in the booth by Cheamo. Welcome, Cheamo, and GG.
Yeah, GG's Malmo.
Yeah, so you had a very interesting route. Chex and Malmo's routes were pretty similar for the most part, but yours was rather interesting considering you're the only one who got the first bow off of Laser Bridge rather than Uncle.
Of course. Why would you want that bow?
So, Cheamo, it was honestly kind of fascinating to see how both you and Malmo had identical collection rates. Look at that, 140, 140. Wow. So both very, very fortunate routes, and yet very different considering where the fire source and bows ended up being.
Also, when you got your hammers, because Cheamo, you got your hammer much later than Malmo and Chex did.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. This seed would have played out very differently if I'd have not messed up the hobo clip at the very start of the race.
Yeah, we didn't see that. There was some technical issues at the start of the race, so we were only watching Malmo for the first couple of minutes, so we missed any kind of debacles that happened during that time.
Yeah, I hard locked.
No.
I must have been 1 pixel right or something, and when I jumped, I turned before I hopped in the water or something. And yeah, I hard locked and I had to reset. And so I didn't get those flippers until way later. So not that I'd have been dying to go into Swamp or anything either, but I might have got the hammer a little sooner or something. I don't know, really would have been different.
Okay. And we're joined by our third place finisher, Chexhuman. Welcome, Chex, and GG. Sorry that was a little bit rough, but congratulations on finishing.
Thanks.
So...
Do you play with an MSU or the music off, Chex?
No, I played with... Oh.
Okay. Yeah, we were wondering about Swamp.
Were you just doing exhibition? You want to show off all of the mode?
I thought it was a crystal.
You should have said you were showing off the mode.
Yeah, she gave you an out. You should have taken it. Grab the rope, man.
Take those.
Yeah, we were wondering as you were heading into Swamp, so I guess because you entered from Hera, there must have been crystal music as you were kind of in Hera state. But then after walking out the front and back in, we were wondering if you would have noticed the music change to pendant. Totally don't fault you at all for not noticing that. Well, of course I always run with MSUs, but if I wasn't, I probably wouldn't have noticed that myself either. So
that's something I would normally notice. But I was either a combination of too tired or too sure that it was a crystal that it didn't have an effect.
But as you were heading into Swamp, I think because of a bunch of extra checks, the front of Hyrule Castle and Thieves Town. You were just about an Ice Palace clear behind Cheamo. But aside from that, your routing was pretty similar to Malmo's overall. It was just that Laser Bridge bow location that really kind of saved the seed for Cheamo. Those were kind of the major differences between you three. And then of course, the real story of the seed from Orange's perspective was isolating the hammer on Zora, which was kind of catastrophic in this seed, unfortunately. But yeah, while we were talking, Orange picked up that hammer and wrapped things up. Well, honestly, faster than I was expecting. I guess because he'd already done the gauntlet.
Yeah, he had done everything
really
except for
much
Ice
left.
Palace and Helmosaur, so there wasn't too much left.
Yeah.
Especially because we've already got silvers. We've got all the safeties we could ever want. So Ice Palace could be as fast as possible, and then just Helma.
Yeah, quick wrap up.
How about clipping up to the island for blue mail and then getting red mail right after and being so annoyed?
I can see that 3 out of 4 people did that.
Oh, so hang on. Where was Blue Mail?
Blue Mail was in Paradox Cave.
Well,
Oh, no,
red
no, it
mail
was-
is in Paradox Cave. I'll
yeah.
have you know.
That's so. Chex, how did you?
The other one
did
was
you-
on Floating Island, so it's just
Yeah, you
wasn't
just
gotten.
don't get it.
Yeah.
You're like
Right,
good enough
but-
to not need it.
But Chex, did you did you check Paradox Cave before the Floating Island check, or am I misremembering?
I don't think it would have mattered.
Did I check?
Well, if you did Paradox first, you wouldn't get the red mail for sure.
Right. I mean, I guess my question is, when you
Typically, I
decided
would-
to skip the Floating Island mail, were you on green mail or blue mail? If you remember.
It was probably green mail. I mean,
Okay.
I would never pick up a mail ever.
Yeah, if they're visible, they
Nice.
stay there for checks.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I do a semi-risky clip to get it.
Yeah.
To be fair, it was my second overworld location, and I was
Mm.
on 4 HP and about to do some more dangerous stuff, so it made sense at the time. If I was on like 6 hearts, I wouldn't have done it.
All right, and we're joined in the booth by our 4th place finisher, Orange. GG Orange, sorry about that hammer location, but congratulations on finishing it out.
So it turns out if you don't go straight to Kakariko to get some money, you will get owned by Zora.
Yeah, you also the other big turning point on that was when you're doing your East Death Mountain stuff, because you've got a 300 chest while you were up there, and at that point it was a decision between doing the singular Zora or the 7 chests of Hookshot Cave, Super Bunny, and Catfish.
Yeah,
So,
and
we don't
most
fault you for
people
that,
are-
but yeah.
most people are going to pick those 7 chests every single time.
Yeah.
And I am most people.
Yeah. I actually have a question for Cheamo on this one. So Cheamo, both you and Orange kind of isolated that hammer location quite a lot. But fortunately for you, Cheamo, you went back there for Zora much earlier than Orange. I'm curious what the thought process was behind that decision to go back for Zora.
Well, I hadn't done Waterfall Caved or checked the ledge, and I, as I said, I hard locked on Hobo at the very start of the race, and I was kind of running out of nice things to do, so it was like a nice sort of little route there to just clip to Hobo and then like fake flipper, and then I didn't need to fake flipper, so it just kind of was like all right to do that all together.
Oh, that totally makes sense. I missed that you hadn't done, unlike Orange, you hadn't done the Waterfall Cave and Zora Ledge checks earlier. So, okay, that makes sense.
I skipped a lot this seed. I was just very lucky to finish second.
Did anybody else skip Sahasrala's closet?
Oh no, I got
I
there.
should have,
Yeah, there was nothing.
but I was still looking for flippers.
Basically, Zora was my, I want to say 4th to last location in Logic.
Yeah, I imagine once we come up on your collection rate here, Orange will probably see a significantly higher collection rate. Although I guess you
Because
didn't.
the only things I had left that was actually in Logic was back of Thieves Town and the front of Swamp.
Was all of Swamp in Logic for you?
I didn't have Hammer to get to the back.
You don't need
Well-
Hammer to get to the back with Logic.
Swamp was in Logic really early if you had Ether.
Oh yeah, Swamp was.
Oh right, I had to
yeah.
do that stupid clip twice. That would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, nobody
Well-
wants to do that with with
Well,
Green
no,
Pendant
I was-
Swamp and Hammerless.
I was absolutely going to last locate back to Swamp Den.
Yeah,
And no one would fault you for it.
no.
I mean,
Checks.
Because who wants to do
sorry,
that?
go ahead. Yeah,
I do.
Well, this
This was
whole
my-
race is your
HMG stream,
idea.
You have to do that.
This was my favorite HMG seed of the tournament. There was nothing required.
All you had to do was go to Zora on your set.
All just nicety clips.
May I interest you in a mode called overworld glitches? You might,
I love
you might
overworld
like it.
glitches. I also haven't played a glitch mode since like my last race, so it's been a little bit of a while.
yeah. What was it like coming back? I guess it's for all of you. It's probably been a couple weeks since the quarterfinals. Is that?
Yeah,
Finally,
quarterfinals.
So it's been a little while. Was it fun coming back to this after a couple weeks?
Yeah, I miss HMG on Restream. We had 2 weeks off. I was like, we can't have 2 weeks off and nothing there. We got to do something.
Yeah.
A very difficult time trying to get my mind out of entrance shuffle mode
Oh man.
because I had been spending those 2 weeks playing a whole bunch of cross keys.
Yep. Yep.
Even I was playing cross keys, and that's me.
Whoa.
I played like 4 cross keys between end of tournament and now.
Oh man.
5 if you include the co-op.
Lots of cross keys fever lately.
Gee, I wonder why.
Chex, I'm really curious. Where was the flute? Looks like you were at least the only one who has flute on the tracker. Oh, back at Thieves now. Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that explains.
it's fluting all around.
I have a question for the other runners. Did any of you find Lamp?
Yeah,
Ah,
I forgot
Pyramid Fairy.
Pyramid Fairy, right. That was my first fire source.
Oh, well, I was never going there because GTT logic meant Hammer wasn't going to be in there.
Yep.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Orange, it was actually kind of interesting. You were the first out of all 4 runners today to head into pod, and you were the first out of all 4 runners today to head up Gauntlet, even though obviously both are logically hammerlocked on this seed.
And the best part about that is before the race even started, we were kind of discussing like what is hybrid major glitches and how you can get into pod really early, and Krellball made the prediction that Orange would be the first one into pod. And you were.
Yep.
So the whole
just-
reason I even climbed GT was to look for Ether. I knew Hammer wasn't going to be up there, but I figured, okay, well, maybe if Ether's up there, then I could just ignore Meyer, Swamp, and Meyer and Swamp entirely, because I already full cleared Hera.
Hmm. Yeah, it was.
Finding
It was
Mir where it
almost
was
there.
nice because it told me that it wasn't going to be in Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, it's interesting how you can get lots of
Hang on a second.
useful logical information. Uh-oh. Is
Uh-oh.
questioning this?
Hang on.
Oh, right. No, you do need the hammer for this. Never mind. I was thinking of crystals 5 and 6, but you need the hammer? Or
Yeah,
the mirror?
you would have
You have
needed
to
a
have the mirror
mirror
to
to
do Aghanim.
walk the bomb via Aghanim.
Oh, that's right.
Well, no, Aghanim wasn't even going to happen anyway because the
Aghanim
lamp was
never
in
happens,
Pyramid
Matt.
Fairy.
Yeah, Aga never happens in HMG or overall glitches for Pyramid Fairy because it requires a mirror.
Well, the point is, though, that finding Mirror where it was, man, Pyramid Fairy was dead in my search for the hammer.
Hmm.
I just really wanted Ether to be top of GT so that I didn't even have to think about Swamp Palace.
Hmm.
And I could have just go-moded Meyer. So there's that significantly inflated collection rate, 155.
Poor
Well, I
Chex.
guess checks with the bonus Swamp Palace clear. Or I guess you didn't open many
I don't-
chests in Swamp, so that probably
you-
came from Thieves Town.
Yeah, I guess. And useless overworld stuff.
Yeah, the whole Smith chain through purple chest.
Yeah, and I don't know. It's kind of useless to talk about a hypothetical race here, but after Fire Rod, I was pretty psyched because all I had was GT and T Rock left to clear where flippers could be. But before I decided to do those, I went to Hobo for I believe what was my last Sphere 1 location. So like it was looking like a Sphere 1 location I could skip, but it was not. It was actually the flippers.
Wait, were
So
you
that was
in
pretty
for
exciting.
Flippers Go mode?
Yeah.
because he thought Swamp
Yeah.
was the crystal. It's kind of
Yeah.
interesting how that changes the perspective.
Flippers are my second item.
So I thought I had a chance at that moment, but that was not the seed that we were playing.
Check's doing an extra dungeon to make the race more even.
Yep. All right. Well, I think that about covers it. So thank you so much to all four of you. Any last comments before we wrap up?
If
Yeah,
I
let's
had
talk about
not
finals.
seen the dot done for Malmo, I probably would have gone to Swamp after Smith Chain or Dip Front of Ice,
Ooh,
Ooh.
spicy.
because Malmo's early dot done meant, oh no, she did it's either Zora or Path to Thieves Town.
Yeah, even if I rushed Swamp, I wouldn't get a time like that. Because it's still Swamp.
Yeah, it takes a while to open. Even when the small key is in the front, because you don't know it's there.
Yeah, Malmo's dot done meant I was officially never touching Swamp.
Hmm.
But yeah, let's talk about finals. We got finals on the board now. They're on Saturday. And they are at 12 and 5 Eastern. So tune in for that. It's going to be Krithel versus Purity Wong for the first two games. And if there's a game 3, it's probably going to be on Sunday.
Very excited for that. Hopefully we can get that restreamed. Maybe not sure what channel it'll be on yet, but yeah, definitely stay tuned for that. And yeah, thanks again to all four of you for putting on this 5th to 8th placement throwdown. It was a lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to do comms for.
Yeah, we want to give a shout out to Professor Pixie and Other Tom for tracking. Watching 4 races at the same time, you got to kind of split it up a little bit more than hefting it all onto one person. And as usual, we want to say thank you to SpeedGaming for the restreams. We always like showing this stuff off for people and hoping that you guys enjoy what you see here.
Thanks, y'all.
But yeah, thanks everyone. That about does it for us. I've been Crubble, and see you all next time.
Good night, everybody.